let's talk about some music. How many of you guys like music? Cool. So here's the thing. One of the things that I think all of us are guilty of, myself included, but I see this a lot with high schoolers, is you guys love music. You listen to music all the time. You know all the words to a lot of songs. But if I were to say, hey, this song that you just sang all the words to, like, what is that song about? What does that song mean? You have no clue. Because it's a skill that we don't always practice. And so we wanted to take some time for this segment to take a song that's towards the top of the Billboard Hot 100.
Number 4? Number 3?
I could not do numbers 1 and 2 because they were filthy. And I could not do number 3 because it was all in Spanish. But number 4.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Laz could have helped us if I knew he's going to be here.
Man.
That's true. But we are going to do the song that is number 4 on the Billboard Top 100. And here's what we want to do. We want to walk through some of the lyrics and say, 1, what message is this song communicating? And 2, is it possible for us to view the message and the truth of this song through the lens of the truth of Jesus? Is that possible? Can this song in any way help us understand a truth about Jesus? So, this song, maybe you guys know, is called 1-800-273-8255, which is the suicide hotline
Super
number.
clear title to the song. You totally know what it's about.
And the song is about a person who is struggling with thoughts of suicide, struggling kind of through, man, does my life matter? What does that mean? And maybe those are thoughts you've had before. Maybe those are thoughts that you've worked through with a friend. And so we're not going to go through every single line of this song, but we want to look through a few and just kind of say, hey, what is this saying? So Andrew, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so the song starts with a pre-chorus, and it goes like this. I'm not going to rap it or anything. I'm just going to read it. It says, I've been on the low. I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. Feel like my life ain't mine. Who can relate? Woo. There you go. There you go. I've been on the low. I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. I feel like my life ain't mine.
And I think that it's interesting because those words are super relatable. Like, I have heard students say similar things to me about how they feel. Like, they're feeling low. They feel like they're out of my mind. They feel like they have no control in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, those feelings tend to lead to what the chorus says, which is, I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be alive. I just want to die today. I just want to die. And that sounds really depressing. And it is in some ways, but the thing is, a lot of people feel that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people in this room who have said those very words to themselves in some form or another. They've had stuff going on and they've literally thought in their mind, man, I don't want to be alive. I just wish today I could die.
Right. And I haven't fully researched this, but I've read somewhere that there are 3 main things that need to go through someone's mind before they commit suicide, and one of them is the person needs to believe that if they were to die, it wouldn't affect anyone's life. And so a lot of times people who end up committing suicide do so because they actually feel like when they die, no one's going to care, no one's life's going to be affected, and that's a sad thought.
Yeah. And then as it goes into the next verse, it's interesting because we see more of these feelings this person is going through that are, again, like word for word things that I have heard from high school students before. It says, I've been praying for someone to save me, but no one's heroic. My life doesn't matter. I know it. I'm hurting deep down, but I can't show it. I never had a place to call my own. I never had a home. No one's calling my phone. Where you been? Where you at? What's on your mind? They say every life is precious, but no one cares about mine. And man, those words are powerful. They cut deep because they resonate with people. There are times where we feel like there's so much going on inside, we're burdened, and we feel like we're not allowed to tell anyone. We're not allowed to show that. We feel like there's people all around us, but we're all alone and no one cares.
Like your life is being micromanaged and you can't be yourself. I think we've all at some point felt that.
But what's interesting about this song, what I do really love about it, is it starts off with that person, but then there's also competing voices.
Yeah, there's other artists singing.
Yeah, so why don't you walk us through some of what the competing message is with those thoughts?
And then one of the other choruses, it says, I want you to be alive. I want you to be alive. You don't got to die today. You don't got to die. I want you to be alive. I want you to be alive. You don't got to die. Now let me tell you why. And then here's the why. Do you want to read that?
Sure. It says, it's the very first breath when your head's been drowning underwater. And it's the lightness in the air when you're there, chest to chest, with the lovers holding on through the roads long, or it's holding on though the road's long, and seeing light in the darkest things. And when you stare at your reflection, finally knowing who it is, I know that you'll thank God you did. And it's interesting because it's very possible that when they sat down to wrote this song, they were not saying, oh, we're going to write a Christian song. We're going to write a song with truth from the Bible. But what do we see in this song when we look at it? It talks about what? Finding light in the darkness. Like, that's a biblical theme. They talk all the time about Jesus bringing light into the darkness. And it talks about finally knowing who you are, your identity, and that when you finally get to that point, it literally says, you'll thank God you did.
And I think an important part is when you read all the lyrics, and especially when you watch the music video, you see that when he says finding light in the darkness, that it's through someone else in their life finally showing them love and compassion and kind of wanting to show interest. And I think that's important because we forget how important we can be in other people's lives when we show other people love, kindness, and we're just there to listen with no agenda, and we just genuinely care about someone. We forget the huge impact that has in other people's lives, and we don't know what's going on inside in someone's head. And so if we live our life just ignoring people, belittling people, ignoring them, making them feel like they don't exist, that causes a lot of damage. And I think it's important that the hope he's talking about is hope when someone else finally recognizes them, acknowledges them, and tells them their life is important.
And that's the whole message of the response in this song, that the person competing with the competing voice is saying, like, you don't have to die, you don't have to die. And then at the end, the person ends by saying, I finally want to be alive. I finally want to be alive. I don't want to die. I finally want to be alive. And I think that relates so much because that is the message of Jesus, that through Jesus, we experience true life. We experience new life. And I hear so many people say, man, when I finally experienced Jesus, I finally felt alive.
Right. And Jesus constantly throughout his ministry, what he did more often than anything else is he went up to people who were on the fringes of society, people who everyone else said, you're gross, you're evil, you're dirty, we want you out. And he went up to them and he validated their lives. How? By being near and present. He didn't go up there and like share this long speech or whatever. He just got close to the lepers, the people who were sick, demon possessed, the poor, even the tax collectors. He went up to them and he validated them by just being near and acknowledging them as a human being. And as Christ followers, we should be able to do the same because that is bringing light into the darkness.
And I think it's super awesome when we can look at a song that's on the Billboard Top 100 that is not by a Christian artist, whatever, but we can look at it and we can say, hey, we can even see some of the truth about Jesus in this, and we can claim that truth.
I think there's only one word for that, and that's amen.
Amen.
Amen.